It usually starts with something small, a slight burning sensation when you urinate, maybe a little bit of itching that just won't go away. You ignore it. You think it is just part of aging. But then, 48 hours later, the fever spikes, the confusion sets in, the shaking becomes uncontrollable. You are rushed to the emergency room not for a simple infection, but for urosepsis. This is when bacteria from a urinary tract infection escape into your bloodstream and begin to shut down your organs. For patients over 60, this is not a rare occurrence. It is one of the leading causes of hospital admission and, tragically, mortality. When the doctors ask what happened, everyone looks for the usual suspects. They ask if you are drinking enough water. They ask if you are wiping from front to back. They blame your hygiene. But almost nobody looks at the tool you are using to perform that hygiene. I am here to tell you that the innocent-looking, fluffy, bright white roll of toilet paper sitting next to your toilet right now might be the silent culprit behind your recurring health issues. We have been sold a lie by the paper industry. For decades, marketing has convinced us that toilet paper should be ultra-soft, ultra-white, and fresh-scented. We associate these qualities with cleanliness. But from a medical perspective, specifically for a senior body, these three qualities are actually warning signs. White means bleached with chlorine. Soft often means treated with formaldehyde. And scented means soaked in petrochemicals. Today, we are going to expose the white peril. We are going to look at the biology of your skin after 60 and why using modern chemical toilet paper on senior skin is like scrubbing a fresh wound with toxic waste. And I will give you the only two alternatives that are medically safe to use for the rest of your life. But first, we must understand the battlefield. We need to talk about your anatomy. If you look at the skin on your arm, it is tough. It is exposed to the sun and the wind. It has built up resilience. But the skin in your perineal area, the delicate tissue around the urethra and the anus, is different. It is what we call a mucous membrane. Unlike regular skin, mucous membranes are not designed to be barriers. They are designed to be absorbent. They are incredibly vascular, meaning they are filled with tiny blood vessels right near the surface. When you were 30 years old, you had high levels of collagen and estrogen or testosterone. These hormones kept that skin thick, plump, and lubricated. It could withstand friction. It could defend itself against mild irritants. But now, past the age of 60, that protection is gone. We call this condition senile cutaneous atrophy. It means the tissue has become paper thin. It has lost its elasticity. It has lost its natural moisture barrier. Using a dry, abrasive paper on this tissue is no longer just wiping. It is causing microtrauma. Imagine taking a piece of sandpaper and rubbing it on a piece of wet tissue paper. That is what is happening at a microscopic level every time you use standard toilet paper. You are creating thousands of tiny, invisible cuts and fissures. And this is where the danger begins, because you are not just rubbing this open tissue with sterile cotton, you are rubbing it with a chemical cocktail. This brings us to the first major enemy hiding in that role, the bleach. Have you ever wondered why toilet paper is so incredibly white? Wood pulp, which is what paper is made from, is naturally brown. To turn it white, manufacturers have to subject it to a violent chemical process. Historically, and still in many cheaper brands, this involves elemental chlorine. When chlorine is used to bleach wood pulp, it creates a byproduct, a family of chemicals called dioxins. Dioxins are not just irritants. They are classified by the World Health Organization as persistent organic pollutants. They are highly toxic, they are carcinogenic, and they are bioaccumulative, which means once they get into your body, they stay there. Now think about the hepatic bypass. When you eat a toxin, your stomach acid breaks it down and your liver filters it before it reaches your main blood supply. Your liver is your bodyguard. But when you apply a toxin to the thin, vascular mucous membranes of your private areas, there is no liver to protect you.
The chemicals are absorbed directly through that atrophic skin and straight into your bloodstream. You are essentially delivering a microdose of bleach and dioxins into your system multiple times a day, every single day for decades. For a young person with thick skin, this might just cause a little red.
We have covered the bleach, but now let's talk about the texture. Walk down the aisle of any supermarket and look at the packaging. Ultra soft, plush, mega comfort. We are naturally drawn to these words. We think that softer means safer. We think that if it feels like a cloud, it must be gentle on our skin. But in the world of paper engineering, unnatural softness requires unnatural chemistry. To make wood pulp feel like cotton, and to make sure it does not disintegrate the moment it touches moisture, manufacturers use chemical additives known as wet-strength resins. These are glues that hold the fibers together so the paper doesn't fall apart in your hand. But many of these resins are derived from formaldehyde. Yes, formaldehyde, the same chemical used to preserve dead bodies in the morgue, is likely present in the product you use on your most sensitive living tissue. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, but more immediately, it is a potent dermal irritant. When it comes into contact with thin, atrophic skin, it causes a reaction. It burns, it inflames, and it weakens the mucosal barrier even further. But the chemical soup gets thicker. Many seniors trying to be environmentally conscious switch to recycled toilet paper. It sounds like the responsible choice, saving trees, helping the planet. But there is a dirty secret in the recycling industry. When they recycle paper pulp, they take it from everywhere: office paper, newspaper, and notoriously thermal receipts. You know, those shiny receipts you get at the grocery store or the gas station. Those receipts are coated in BPA, bisphenol A. BPA is a notorious endocrine disruptor. It is a chemical that mimics the hormone estrogen. When you use recycled toilet paper containing traces of BPA, you are introducing a xenoestrogen, a fake hormone, directly into your bloodstream via that highly absorbent vascular tissue we talked about. Research published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology has found high concentrations of BPA in toilet paper derived from recycled sources. So, you are trying to clean yourself, but you are actually dosing yourself with hormone-disrupting plastics. And then we arrive at the most unnecessary and damaging additive of them all, the scent. Lavender, chamomile, ocean breeze. These scented rolls are marketed aggressively to seniors. They play on the fear of odor. They promise freshness. But medically speaking, fragrance is the single biggest enemy of specialized skincare. When you see the words fragrance or parfum on a label, it is a legal loophole. Manufacturers are not required to list the ingredients that make up that scent. That one word can hide a cocktail of over 3,000 different industrial chemicals. Most of these are petrochemicals. They include phthalates, benzene derivatives, and aldehydes. These are not essential oils extracted from flowers. They are solvents designed to cling. They are designed to stay on surfaces for a long time. And that is exactly the problem. When you wipe with scented paper, those chemical molecules bind to your skin. They stay there long after you have pulled up your pants. For a senior with compromised skin barriers, this triggers a condition called allergic contact dermatitis. This brings us to a case study that I see constantly in my practice. Let's call it the phantom itch. A 75-year-old female patient comes in. She is miserable. She has a relentless itching and burning sensation.
We have talked about the chemicals burning your skin, but there is a second mechanism of injury that is just as dangerous. It is mechanical. Let's go back to the microscope. Even the most expensive, ultra-plush, multi-ply toilet paper is still made of wood pulp. If you look at it under high magnification, the fibers look like jagged logs. They're rough. They are uneven. When you are young, your natural oils and skin thickness protect you from this roughness. But remember, the senior perineal area is suffering from atrophy. It is dry. It is thin. When you use dry toilet paper to wipe, you're essentially performing microdermabrasion on a mucous membrane. You are creating thousands of microscopic tears. These are called microfissures. You cannot see them with the naked eye. You might not even feel them immediately, but they are there. And biologically speaking, a fissure is a breach in the castle wall. It is an open door for invasion. This is where the anatomy becomes critical, especially for female anatomy. The female anatomy has a design vulnerability. The urethra, the tube that leads to the bladder, is very short, and it is located dangerously close to the bacterial reservoir of the rectum. In a healthy body, good bacteria and strong skin keep the dangerous bacteria like Escherichia coli or E. coli in check. But now, consider the scenario we have built. The skin is inflamed by chemicals. The good bacteria have been killed by the chlorine residues. The barrier is full of microfissures from the friction of the paper. When you wipe, even if you are careful, the dry paper acts as a vehicle. It picks up E. coli bacteria, and because of the microtears, it implants them directly into the inflamed tissue around the urethra. The bacteria do not just sit there, they climb. And this is the terrifying progression to sepsis. Stage 1 is cystitis. The bacteria enter the bladder. In a younger person, this hurts. You feel a sharp burning. You go to the doctor. But in seniors, the nerves are less sensitive. You might not feel the burn. The infection grows silently. Stage 2 is pyelonephritis. The bacteria multiply. They climb up the ureters. They invade the kidneys. The kidneys are the filters of your blood. They are rich in oxygen and nutrients. The bacteria feast on this. At this point, you might feel a dull backache. You might feel tired, but you still might not have a fever. Seniors often do not spike fevers because their immune response is slower. Instead, you might just act strange. You might be confused. You might fall down. This is called delirium, and it is often the only warning sign you get. Stage 3 is urosepsis. The kidneys are overwhelmed. The bacteria break through the kidney's filtration barrier and pour into the bloodstream. Now the bacteria are circulating throughout your entire body. They are pumping toxins into your heart, your lungs, and your brain. Your blood pressure crashes. This is septic shock. Your organs begin to fail one by one. This is a medical emergency with a very high mortality rate. And when we trace it back, where did it start? It didn't start with a mysterious virus. It started with a compromised skin barrier. It started with chemical.
So, how do we break this cycle of inflammation and infection? The first step is a fundamental shift in your mindset. You must understand that dry paper does not actually clean anything. It merely smears bacteria around while irritating the skin. If you got mud on your arm, would you rub it with a dry paper towel until your skin was red and raw? Of course not. You would wash it off with water. Yet, with the most sensitive part of our body full of bacteria, we choose the dry paper method. It is medically illogical. We need to remove the friction, and we need to remove the chemicals. Here are the only two alternatives I recommend to my patients. Solution number 1, the brown switch. If you are not ready to give up toilet paper completely, you must change what you buy. You need to switch to unbleached bamboo toilet paper. Do not buy the white bamboo paper. If it is white, it has still been bleached, likely with chlorine derivatives. You want the paper that looks brown or beige.
The color brown is your safety signal. It means the wood pulp has not been subjected to the violent chemical baths we discussed earlier. You were looking for a specific acronym on the label, TCF. This stands for totally chlorine-free. Why bamboo? Aside from being sustainable, bamboo fibers have a completely different microscopic structure than hardwood fibers. They are rounder, they are smoother. They cause significantly less microabrasion on atrophic senior skin. Bamboo is also naturally hypoallergenic and antibacterial. It does not need formaldehyde to stay strong. By switching to unbleached bamboo, you eliminate the dioxins, you eliminate the BPA, and you eliminate the formaldehyde. You are still using friction, which is not ideal, but you have removed the chemical burn from the equation. However, if you want the gold standard of hygiene, if you want to virtually eliminate the risk of urosepsis caused by hygiene issues, you need solution number 2, hydrohygiene. I am talking about a bidet attachment or a handheld sprayer. I know what many of you are thinking. That is strange, that is for Europeans, I am too old to learn a new gadget. I need you to put those prejudices aside, because for a senior citizen, a bidet is not a luxury item, it is a medical device. Using a gentle stream of water to clean the area solves every single problem we have discussed in this video. First, water is the universal solvent. It actually dissolves and removes the bacteria instead of smearing them into the pores. Second, it eliminates friction. There is no rubbing, there is no scraping. You are not creating those dangerous microfissures that let the bacteria in. Third, and most importantly, it hydrates the tissue instead of drying it out. When you use a bidet, you are essentially taking a mini shower every time you go. You are washing away the E. coli. You are washing away the sweat and urine residues that cause rashes. And the best part? You do not need to call a plumber or remodel your bathroom. Modern bidet attachments cost less than $50. They install under your existing toilet seat in 10 minutes. They use the water pressure from your wall. For patients with arthritis or limited mobility, this is a game changer. Reaching behind to wipe can be painful and ineffective. A bidet does the work for you. So here is the new routine I want you to visualize. You use the bidet to wash. You feel clean. Then you use a small amount of your unbleached bamboo paper just to pat.
To finish, I want to tell you about a patient of mine. Let's call him Robert. Robert is 72. He is active. He loves gardening. But last year, he was hospitalized 3 times for urinary tract infections. He was on constant antibiotics. His doctors were worried his kidneys were failing. Robert was clean. He showered daily. He couldn't understand why this was happening. We looked at his bathroom habits. He was using a mega roll of scented, extra thick white toilet paper. And because he wanted to be extra clean, he was scrubbing hard. I gave him a prescription, but it wasn't a pill. I told him to buy a bidet attachment for $35. He was skeptical. He laughed, but he did it. It has been 18 months. Robert has not had a single infection since, not one. His skin healed, the inflammation vanished, the door to the bacteria was closed. This is the power of the protocol I am giving you today. It is simple, it is cheap, and it works. Here is your 3-step clean exit plan. I want you to do this today. Step 1, the purge. Go to your bathroom right now. Look at your toilet paper. Is it bright white? Does it smell like flowers? If the answer is yes, throw it in the trash. Do not finish the roll. Do not save it for guests. It is a chemical hazard. Get it out of your house. Step 2, the swap. Go online or go to the health food store. Order unbleached bamboo toilet paper. Look for the TCF label. Better yet, order that bidet attachment. It takes 10 minutes to install.
It is the best insurance policy you will ever buy. Step 3. The barrier. This is the secret weapon. Keep a small jar of organic coconut oil in the bathroom. After you shower, apply a tiny amount to the perineal area. Coconut oil is natural, it is antibacterial, but most importantly, it mimics the natural sebum that your skin used to produce when you were younger. It creates a lipid barrier. It seals the skin, it prevents dryness, it stops the itching before it starts. Getting older brings challenges. Our bodies change, our defenses weaken, but we do not have to accept suffering as a normal part of aging. Recurring infections, constant itching, and the fear of sepsis, these are not inevitable. They are often the result of using the wrong tools for the job. The industry wants you to believe that white and scented means clean. Now you know the truth. Cleanliness is not a smell. Cleanliness is the absence of chemicals. Cleanliness is the integrity of your skin. Protect your barriers, respect your anatomy, and treat your bathroom routine with the medical seriousness it deserves. Throw out the white paper. Save your skin. I am your senior doctor. Stay safe, stay informed, and I will see you in the next investigation.